And hello to the sixth edition of Future Summit. We're super excited to have you all with us. I hope you were excited with some of the things that happened before this live. My name is Ciprian Stănescu, and I'm founder of Future Summit. And before going into the metaverse, right, the new reality that we live in, just let me briefly tell you what happens in Future Summit in the next days, and not only, I would say. So let's pick a bit some of the days that follow. We're in the middle of Monday, but tomorrow we have conversations about sustainable investment futures, genomics, and sustainable finance. On Wednesday, we go from foresight to risk education to a very special a day with our Future Makers incubators. On Thursday, we go to Futures Literate. We have a special guest from Paris talking about the limits of uncertainty, and the special session on Romanian economic outlook for 2022. Friday, we go from climate change to diversity, or a special session with two new Ashoka Fellows from Romania, which are still a secret, but trust me, they are really amazing people, and we're looking forward to meeting them on Friday. Now, we are here now to talk about the metaverse. Before going into the metaverse, let me just thank our first live speaker, Adrian, for coming with us. Hi, Adrian. How are
Hello,
you?
hello. Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. Well,
Great to have you.
thank you for the invitation. It's just a pleasure every time.
Cool. Now, maybe you're a bit curious about what happened today. So we had two classes. The first one from Introduction to Sustainability, and the second one was Introduction to Foresight. We just had the amazing opportunity to watch Liam Young's Planet City and the Return of Global Wilderness. So, how he sees the next 30 years. We're now with Adrian Posteuca to talk about the metaverse. From 6:30, we have a session on decentralized futures with Delia from Netopia Group, Adrian Stratolat from the Romanian Blockchain Association, and Stefan Gergely from ZTech. And then from 7:30, a special session on tech for social good with Alina Borlacu from the Romanian Business Leaders, moderating a very, I'd say, special conversation on how we build tech for good, but also how we can use better tech in everything that we do. Now, coming back to the metaverse. Now, everyone is talking about the metaverse, right? And it's similar to something else, if you know the expression. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody really understands what it is and how you use it. So I would go to Adrian and ask him, what is the metaverse, and what you see as the next big change.
I think we don't have a definition for metaverse right now. It's something that specialists are trying to do. Metaverse is not a very quite new term. It's first time it was used. It was in a novel by Neil Stapleton in 1992, I think. So it's a buzzword right now. Everybody's using it, but we have different views about metaverse, and you're going to find different perspective of the same thing. In my opinion, in my perspective, I think the metaverse uh, it's a new world. It's the Web 3.0 that will be experienced through VR, AR, that is built on the decentralized economics of the platform of the blockchain, and it's powered by AI, rendered in the cloud computing and connected with the 5G speed technology. I think
That sounds like, I think you missed genetics, but you put everything in there to some
yeah,
extent.
for sure, it's a mix of technologies, and this is something that I really want to. It really what I want to underline. It's a mix of technologies because it's not something that is new. Is the sum, or maybe it's not the sum. Is the product of different technologies, but is seen through augmented and virtual reality. So augmented and virtual reality is just a gateway in the metaverse. Uh, it's the metaverse will be powered for sure by blockchain. As I said, is using cloud computing. AI is there, and for sure everything will be connected through the 5G. So everything there is gonna build, it's gonna be connected, and we're gonna experience this immersive world through metaverse.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Speaking of what we can do, in the future, what you can do in the present. If you're watching this, and we have a lot of people watching already, you can comment on any platform you feel like it. We have somebody called from the NFT Center who says we should read Snow Crash. Um,
yeah,
so if you have resources or questions, just pop them in the comments, and we'll try to give it a go. Now, a lot of people, without even realizing, they associate the metaverse with Meta, with Facebook, and it's probably not that. So
yeah.
what is the relation between Facebook and metaverse?
I think that Mark Zuckerberg is the first one that really put the word metaverse into the, let's say, into the communication in nowadays, in recent days. But I think it's a misunderstanding that Facebook is the metaverse. Actually, the metaverse is not going to belong to Mark Zuckerberg. I think it's. Let me give you a small comparison. It's like football club Barcelona is using the term football, but is not the football. Football is actually the entire game. It's like uh, playing a game. It is called football, and let's say your company is called football and something. So the metaverse or the meta is just a name of it of the concept.
Yeah.
So it's like seeing the future. He wants to be there.
Okay.
So Mark Zuckerberg wants to
So
be there.
let's pick on 2025. It's a pretty round year, right?
Okay.
2025 or even 2030, if you want to go further into the future. How do you see the metaverse 5, 10 years from now?
I think the metaverse. It's if you look like this, if you see like this, the metaverse is gonna be the future of the internet, and all the brands, all the I don't know, everybody will have their own world, as digital world, so you can experience by using goggles or augmented reality headsets and all this kind of stuff. But instead of going to a website, you're going to some virtual world. You're gonna go to, let's say, Dolce and Gabbana experience. So everything is VR. We're gonna talk in VR maybe, or we're gonna meet in some kind of a special place in the world where everything is created through virtual reality. But my bet is not on virtual reality. It's going to be on hyper reality. It's going to be a more on augmented reality experiences rather than like a reality that's going to be enchanted by technology, enchanted uh, by AI, enchanted by cloud rendering. But we still going to see the reality. It's more on the augmented reality side
So
rather than on the virtual reality side.
I I do hope we will still be able to see the real reality in the future. But in the same time, even now, we live in a very weird reality, because a lot of us live in social media, and we live through our laptops. It's still a very 2D perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
So, in terms of devices, how do you see the devices and the hardware that the metaverse will use, or we will use in the metaverse?
For sure we're gonna use the 3D space. For sure you're gonna use the three-dimensional space, even if it's through VR headset. For sure, the VR headsets we will have to become smaller. They have to become lighter. They have to become more, I don't know, easy to use. And my bet in the future is gonna be for some, goggles that are going to use augmented reality as everyday use for them. So I think it's going to be on the mix about between real reality, physical world, and digital world through augmented reality. So we're going to see things in 3D space, but things that are digitally computed.
And probably in the next 3, 5, 10 years, we won't really be able to see the difference between them, right? I
For
mean,
sure.
now it still looks very primitive when
Yes,
you talk about augmented reality. But 5 years, 10 years from now, you won't feel the difference, right?
yeah, for sure. But I think this, with this metaverse will come some challenges and some big challenges that you are trying to approach in this summit, and something that I need to put the finger on. One of the challenge is, from my point of view, is digital or technological literacy. So we need to have like a politician that will understand the AI, that politician with that will understand the future of this metaverse, politician that policymakers that gonna think about how we're gonna navigate ourselves or navigate ourselves in this new environment. And for sure, we need some laws. We need some, some, let's say, work frame for this new environment. And without a politician that will understand technology, this is gonna be only, let's say, companies that will exploit some, some breach in the system, or some uncovered spaces. So we're gonna lose our identity, or we're gonna lose our way of feeling safe in this metaverse.
You said earlier that metaverse is going to be the new internet, let's call it,
So
right?
sure.
So let's look at what internet or the internet is today. So if you were to put it in three categories, what do we do with the internet, right? We work, right? Like we work now, for example.
Yeah.
We find entertainment, movies,
Yeah.
music, etc. And we, let's say, inspire ourselves or educate ourselves.
Sure.
Um, what would I mean, do you think the metaverse or the new internet or internet 3.0 would also help us to connect better than how we connect now, even with the new developments that we have?
No, I don't think we're gonna connect better. We're gonna connect between us easier. It's like gonna be a very um, easy way to talk with my friend from Amsterdam, or to talk with you without meeting you. But for sure, I want to meet we. I want to meet with you. We want to talk with as real persons. It's gonna be easier to connect with someone that's very far away. But in my opinion, if you are in the same city, and I rather have a coffee or a beer with you and talk, or I rather have this event in with the real audience rather than this type of audience, is gonna be a easier way to connect with people from other places, far away places. And I want to put another very, very important topic on the table, and this is maybe something that you're going to discuss with your future guests. Um, I believe that in the next internet, in the metaverse, the problem will be to have a digital twin, a persona that's going to be interchangeable between experience. A real Your future, your digital twin will have to be a way certified through the network, like through blockchain network. It's like you're talking to me is not my digital twin, or is not my, I don't know, someone who stole my identity, and you are talking and sharing you are listening to my thoughts, and this persona will gonna be this my identity is gonna be used to try different experience in the metaverse. Is like creating
Yeah.
your own digital identity.
Yeah, we have a question somewhere in the chat, and this is a question that a lot of us always ask. 3D media tech was thought to have a future a couple of years ago. After almost 10 years, and thank you, Sorin, for the question. It appears that it's not a big deal. So AR and VR have been quite disappointing to some of us. Do you think that we had too high expectations, or the technology didn't move actually that fast?
I think it's something about the 3D experience that so the 3D TV that our friend is talking about is just an innovation, is not something that's new. It's just adding to a 3D, let's say, to a 2D screen, is adding some depth and something like that. But I think the internet 3.0 and the augmented and virtual reality, we have a lot of good showcases. They are not very popular because it's not aiming for, let's say, for the mainstream. It's like it's not going to have like a digital thing like you're playing with the digital bird on your screen. But look at the TikTok. Look how many augmented reality effects are going to be on TikToks, and you're going to see the marketing side of augmented reality. But I know for sure that are big companies like the Fansa, like uh, I don't know, companies like British Airlines that are using virtual and augmented reality for training, and this is a step in the future of creating this digital training, learning, playing. If someone I know there's a company in UK that created box in VR, and they certify that by exercising boxing VR is like exercising 75% like going to a gym. So
Yeah,
it's
minus the sweat.
no, it's also with the sweat, also with the
Also with
sweat.
the sweat. Now
I
you talked about boxing and sports, and I would like to actually use this. Sports. I would go to education now, because education is one of the biggest topics of our days, especially with various types of dysfunction on online education. What do you think the metaverse can bring in education, number one? And second, if you would be an entrepreneur that is interested in education, how would you look at the metaverse from now on, and what would you do?
so I think this is a very good augmented and virtual reality that brought to education a lot of good things. I just remembered about Google Classroom. It's a way of experience of going to different places with using the goggles. It's a way of augmented reality is the way of seeing things in three-dimensional space. I remember when I was back in school learning about the thermic engine, and it was very hard for me to understand how it works. But for sure, right now there is an app that will show me in 3D the entire structure of an engine. So maybe I'll understand better with 3D on a 3D view. And if I was a tech entrepreneur, I think it's a very good time to take the knowledge from books and create put them in a 3D story, in a 3D environment, and try to make them interactive. Imagine right now it's just the first thought that I have in mind. Imagine that you are in the 3D space and learning about a cube, uh, uh, a sphere, and all this kind of stuff, and see them in all directions and try to understand what is the volume of the cube, or what is I don't know, all the trigonometric on the sphere, on something like that. So I think by seeing in 3D and seeing it's gonna be something gonna be huge. Or imagine that I think in Roblox there are people that recreating history battles. just just by seeing one of these, let's
Yeah.
say, game like experience is going to be huge for understanding what it was, how it feel like to be in a battle.
Yeah, we have another question about how do you actually, technically, what's the difference? Basically, that's the question. And I
What's the
would,
difference between what? Between
when
augmented and virtual?
yeah, so when you talk about the metaverse, the question is like, where is this going to happen? Is there a link that I can go to? It's very basic on where is it going to live?
Is going to live on the same computer. Is not gonna be like something that's okay. You're gonna have different types of computer. We're gonna see it for an amount of time. We're gonna see the hybrid. So it's not a hybrid communication. It's like you're gonna have the website, which is a 2D, but then you're gonna have something like a small thing, like you go enter VR or experience in XR or experience in augmented reality. And if you have like goggles for augmented reality, for sure you're gonna go to the website, like, I don't know, let me put UNESCO.com or org, and you're gonna click and on put the goggles on, and you're gonna be there in the environment designed for UNESCO. You're gonna click on different things, and you're gonna go around and see different experience. So for in 5 years, we're gonna still have the Internet 2.0 and the Internet 3.0, or the metaverse, coexist in the same environment. It's not like gonna for tomorrow. It's like imagine it's like electric cars right now.
Yeah,
It's gonna still have some time. We're gonna have the share, some petrol cars and some hybrid cars and some electric cars. It's not like gonna be changing from
yeah.
tomorrow.
I read recently an article about the metaverse, and it said that it has the potential to actually amplify and accelerate the development of augmented reality, which, much like our previous question, seems not to have advanced maybe too much, and in particular in terms of content, not just okay, you might have some new chips that you really use 5G now, but in terms of content, it's not. It doesn't look that good, or it doesn't look like we were, aiming to have. So, from this perspective, um, how do you see um, a, a day-to-day life, a normal life, in 5-10 years from now, in this metaverse? You wake up and you can see you can see things around you, or
Yep.
what's that?
Yeah, I think you're gonna wake up and you put your goggles on, and I think it's a privacy is something very important. So you have to put a device on, and you're gonna see in your environment your schedule for today. You're gonna go to the bathroom, and there's gonna be a smart bathroom that's gonna tell you, okay, Adrian, today your lack of calcium, you must take some more calcium because, I don't know, you exercise a lot yesterday. And then say, look, maybe you're gonna eat something light because you have a meeting with Ciprian, and you're gonna eat in the this meeting. And then look at on the desktop, so on the empty table, and then it pop up all different routes from me to go from my place to the meeting place. And then we're gonna check on the news, and the news, rather than to be like a 2D screen, we're gonna have like a 3D, and being part of the news, and all this kind of stuff. And maybe I'm gonna talk with my mother and see her in a 3D space, or see her as a avatar. Ask me if I eat something in the morning, like
Yeah,
all mothers do.
it's if we take chorba to the metaverse, then everything is
No,
is
no,
better.
no.
Since
We're gonna eat normal. We're gonna eat normal.
Yeah,
I don't want to go there.
since you talked about food, Don't forget that we have some really interesting sessions in the next days talking about sustainable food, plant food, and not only. And let me just announce what happens later on this evening from 6:30. We have a session on decentralized futures with representatives from Netopia, ZTEC, and Crypto Data and Romanian Blockchain Association. And I think a lot of how the future looks like is also highly connected to blockchain. So
For sure.
going back to you, do you have a question for the decentralized futures panel that takes place this evening?
I think it's a very important moment to understand and to educate politicians and educate policymakers, as I said earlier, about how they should build laws for a decentralized world or for a decentralized future. And if there any educational mass program in order for us to be digital literated in the future. The first one and the second one is going to be about my digital persona, who's gonna who's gonna certify that my identity on the web is the right identity. Even now, you're gonna see a lot of fake accounts on Facebook or Instagram and all this kind of stuff, and you're not sure that you're talking with the right person, or you're talking to a fake account. So this certifying that you're really talking to that person in the future uh, of the digital environments and deep fake, for sure maybe someone will gonna steal my face, or not for sure, but maybe someone is gonna steal my face and he's gonna talk with my face and say, look, I don't believe in I'm gonna push the atomic button.
Yeah,
So
but the thing is that, for those of us that use something like this, for those of you that are super from the future, this is called a phone, but it's not a phone. This is a computer, supercomputer. And I, for example, use facial recognition in paying for various stuff. So perhaps blockchain can also help with that. One final question, because Future Summit is all about the future, but also the very distant future. We've had conversations in the past about something that I call full immersion virtual reality. This is a new type of reality in which you enter, not just by using a headset, but also in some form of anesthesia. And you live your life as if it would be in reality. You feel pain, you feel the wind, you feel food, you nourish yourself, of course, from a in a philosophical way. So you live your life, your new life, without sensing any difference. um, a lot of people would most likely choose to live a happy life in the, what follows this, in fever, in full immersion virtual reality. um, what do you think the currency of the future from this perspective could be?
oh my god, I think time is going to be it's going to be a currency. I think what you're trying to aim, it's more a dystopian perspective of the future rather than utopian. Even if, let me challenge you with something. How about that what we are living right now is a computer reality? So the physical world is not something physical, it's something that is generated by a supercomputer for us. So if you put it like this, your dystopian view, maybe we're gonna have a different type of life there. Who knows? But my perspective is more like a utopian one, and I believe we're still gonna be connected with the reality, but we're gonna have a layer of digital information on top of it, and it's on our fingertip to turn it off and turn it on. I think technology is just a tool for us to understand the world better. It's gonna give us is giving us context. Technology is gonna give us context. The metaverse is gonna give us context, of more context, a more 3D context of day-to-day life.
Yeah. Well, for those of us that will choose to live in the metaverse and the metaverse after the metaverse, I wish you all the best. But in the same time, let's see some of the things that actually happen again. So after from 6:30 we go to a panel on decentralized futures, and then from 7:30 tech for social good. Coming back and thanking Adrian again for taking the time for this lovely conversation. I want to end with a very simple question. How far do you think we are in terms of years from not making or not understanding the difference between what we see in virtual reality and what we see in real reality?
I think it's 3 or 5 years in the future. That is scaring on one side if you're thinking about I don't know, digital literacy. It's scary. It's in the point of view of technology. It's I'm super happy that we're gonna think, or we're gonna have the technology of blending so seamlessly the digital assets with the physical assets. But in 5 years, we have to push, you have to push, I have to push the digital literacy for everybody. They have to understand what is real and what is true and what is not.
True. Well, true to some extent. Let's keep a critical perspective on it. Thank you very much, Adrian. See you all later on with a panel on decentralized futures. And not only, don't forget, this is a rather long event. We also meet tomorrow. We talk a lot about sustainability, sustainable business making, and sustainable finance. And two, I'd say, very special sessions from Cambridge. We talk about genomic revolutions of the future. And we go to Greece, and not only to Romania as well, to see what are some of the usabilities of tech for those of us that perhaps don't see the future as we do, and that is tech for blind. On this note, I wish you a lovely future summit. And if you are part of Genesis, if you're part of the app, don't forget, there's a lot of other stuff. You can interact with people, and there's a lot of interaction happening as we speak. But also you can check some of the topics and get relevant information. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.